Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Well, I kind of wanted to answer a question that was posed to me by some of the young people who follow this channel. And some of you look like you may be a little older, but most of the ones I saw appear to be younger. Is concerning a question that was put in the community portion of this channel. I want to address the channel, but I want you all to just really think about what I'm saying. First of all, some of us are from a totally different time period. So if you're younger, you're probably young enough to be one of my children. So we're not going to think alike anyway. Okay. Now, those of you who may be around my age, you could be my brother or sister. I want you all to understand where I'm coming from when I say these things. When I speak on this channel, I'm coming from a position of love, first of all. I gotta say that. And as you see by the title of this video, the question was, why are you so judgmental? Now, that is something I believe that has been inserted into the thought process or the minds of so-called black people to try to keep others from saying anything against what it is we want to do. Okay. Well, I want you to fast forward to, I'm just going to say 6 years from now in your life. If you continue to make the same decisions that you are making right now as of today, where do you see yourself in 6 years? Okay. Now, if I could look at some of your lives, like I'll give you a good example. I remember my husband was telling me, I think some 30 years ago, he was sitting and he was talking to a group of young men. This is when he lived in Detroit. And he gave them a scenario about carpe diem, seizing the day or whatever. And there was a poem or a statement that was, gather ye rosebuds while you may, for, how does that go? Let me look it up real quick. Okay. I want to say this right. So, and he's talked about it on the ministry channel before, but he made this statement to these young men more than 30 years ago. And some of them came, I think, 10 years later and said, man, it's been 10 years since you said that, right? And so, let me see if I can find that. Gather ye rosebuds. I think that was also in a movie. Okay, so here it is. It says, gather ye rosebuds while you may. Okay, that's not the full statement there. Let me go to it. Just be a little patient here, family. Be a little patience. Okay. It's like everyone's breaking the statement up. I want the full statement, you know? Okay. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Old time is still a flying. Well, my husband, he quoted, he said, while time is still a flying. And this same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be dying. Okay, so if you understand that statement, it's basically saying you have to seize the day. You don't have time to play around. You don't have time to push things or kick the can down the road or whatever. You have to deal with things now. And you have to look at what you're doing right now in your life to determine what's going to be going on 6 years from now. Of course, I know that unforeseen circumstances can kind of uproot your life and change situations, right? But if you are doing something today that you know is just not the right thing to do, but you're telling folk, look, don't judge me. Mind your own business. Don't do this. Don't do that. You have to understand that many times when our people fall into these traps and snares of doing their own thing, you know, following after the statement, it's your thing. Do what you want to do. Anybody could just say, look, I'm just going to do what I want to do. But there are consequences to doing what you want to do. That's why that statement that my husband read to those young men almost 30 years ago was so powerful, because he said some of them later came to him and said, man, it's been 10 years since you made that statement. I believe it was on a front porch in Detroit. Don't quote me on that, but it was a statement that was made, and as time was flying by, that quick 10 years got past one of them and they remembered the statement. You see, now I don't know what the condition of their life was at the time that they recollected the statement and said it to my husband, but what if a person sat still for 10 years, meaning didn't try to do anything with their life, or they continued a bad pattern of behavior from that point and didn't improve it? Your circumstances will probably be worse, because 9 times out of 10, some of the bad choices you make, you might be under your parents' roof, right? But if you're no longer under your parents' roof and you're still making those bad choices, your life will be drastically affected. So I want to say to you young people who didn't understand, it was on the post that I put about the long fingernails with the not peaches and cream, but it looked like Oreo cookies and cream or something like that, fingernails with little cookies pasted to it. Now, some of you say, well, that's art, that's this, that's that. A lot of good points was made about that, okay? How do you clean yourself properly? How do you work? How do you do anything with nails like that? Okay, do you have to hire somebody to come and clean you, wipe you? Because I've seen people with nails wrapping like this. I mean, what do you do? Let's be realistic here. Not just that. How do you present yourself to the professional world? Okay. Now, I understand the point that one person made. They said that they want to be a nail artist because they make $250 per client or something like that for a 3-hour period. Okay, I get that. That's you making the money. But my thing is the person who's sitting there in the chair getting this done. How do you properly take care of yourself? Will you get hired to do a job working with those nails? A lot of people, I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but a lot of employers don't accept that. So have you just accepted that you're not going to be employed? Okay, I'm trying to keep it real here. Talking as a parent to those of you who may be young enough to be my children, and as a sister to those of you who may be closer to my age. Okay, we as so-called black people, we have to get something through our heads right now. The world has changed. We don't have time to play around. We don't have time for shenanigans. Okay, the system unfortunately has supported a lot of this, because we all know, and this is true, this ain't got nothing to do with judging. Okay, although the scripture does tell us that we are supposed to judge our situations within us. And because we haven't been able to successfully do that as a people, you know what the Most High has allowed? He says, I'm going to let these other nations judge you, and they're going to rule you with a rod of iron, because we as a people don't step up to the plate and set the record straight on how we are supposed to be and live and function and build ourselves as a nation. Since we won't step up to the plate and do that properly and with a righteous order, the Most High said, I'm going to let these other nations rule you with a rod of iron. This is why we are the laughing stock of the planet. This is why nobody takes us serious. This is why they call us liquid money, because not only do these Asian people come into our communities and set up shop to do nails, but they also sell hair products. They set up Chinese food restaurants where they're feeding you garbage. They do all of this because they already know, because the memo has already been sent around the globe, that black people are liquid money, that they will blow their money on anything, and they will dare you to say anything to them about it. Don't judge me. Why are you so judgmental? It has nothing to do with that, sweetheart. Nothing at all to do with being judgmental. We have got to get ourselves together, because the planet is changing. Wake up. It is time to wake up. Things have changed. No one is going to be supporting that. It's getting to a point where, and I'm not putting down or judging anyone who is on government assistance, but we all know that there are people on government assistance who do not handle their business. Will get a check and go get some nails done, get some hair put in, and not handling your business on the home front. I'm not trying to be funny or judgmental when I say these things. It is what it is. You see that the world is changing and that the economy is collapsing right before our eyes. You can use any government assistance you're getting right now to go buy yourself some seeds. I am saying this out of love, not of judgment. That is a form of deflection when you have people say, why are you so judgmental? See, the problem is no one has been for a long time. No one is telling our people what the mistakes that we're making. That's why the scripture says, if my people which are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. And then it also says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up your voices like a trumpet in Zion and show my people their transgressions. We have got to point out the fact that we as a people have went astray big time. And for some, there is no turning around. For some, there is no fixing. Some have gone to the point of no return. And yet we don't want nobody telling us about ourselves. Okay, one of you made a point. What if somebody judged me about this on my head? Guess what? It's already happened. I don't care. Someone asked, oh, well, how do you feel if someone judges you for wearing your turbans? Hey, young people, that's deflection. I don't care. I'm an adult, okay? I'm realistic. I don't care. I've had people circulating images of me with my turban, and they put a dog face on me or a beard and mustache on me, and that was circulating around the internet. But guess what? Did I cower away and run away and just tuck tail and cry? Guess what? I didn't shed one tear, not one. We've got to learn how to be strong in these last and evil days because things have gotten pretty ugly and they are going to get worse from here. We don't have time to be worried about little petty stuff like that, talking about someone judging, because I'm telling you right now, you can barely, there might be someone who will hire you like this, but you can barely get a job or even be taken seriously with nails that are wrapping or curled and doing all this weird stuff. Not just for the young ladies, but young men too. You sagging your pants. If you don't have your own business, it's very unlikely that you're going to get hired dressing and acting and talking a certain way. I'm trying to be realistic here. I'm trying to get you all to wake up and see the future for what it is. Dark days are ahead, and all of this playtime and this perpetual state of youth that we've been kept in is over. Time, the playtime is over. I got a little tongue tied there, but don't let that bother you. Okay, playtime is over. I feel so deeply for my people. I used to cry so deeply for my people, but right now, and I still do from time to time, it depends on the situation, but I get more frustrated than anything. I'm saying to myself, what is it that we need to do to shake people out of the sleep that they're in? Do you see what's going on? That's the thing that gets me. And we don't want to be judged. Our people want to justify everything. Then they want to look at the white man, the Latino man, the Chinese man, the Arab man, and say, oh, they're oppressing me. They're oppressing us. The Bible said that was going to happen because we are disobedient, stiff-necked people. They are the punishment. Did you know that? That's in the Bible. They are the punishment. And for those of you who say, well, that's not fair. The Most High, he's the creator of everything, of everybody. Who can stay his hand and say, why doest thou? This is the punishment he laid out for us because we need to do better. We need to repent. We refuse to do that. This is why generation to generation, from generation to generation to generation to generation to generation, we have generational curses that have clung to us as a people because we don't want the truth. You got young people getting so set in their ways, talking about old folks set in their ways. You got young people, it's getting younger and younger, that people are getting set in their ways, telling you, look, you don't tell me what to do. Mind your own business. Don't judge me. Why are you so judgmental? If I want to wear my nails like that, that's my problem. Yes, it is your problem. It is your problem. This is why, as a people, we can't rise above anything. This is why they call us liquid money. This is why they call us all kinds of things. This is why the world don't take us serious. They don't take any of us serious, not just here in the U.S. Those on the continent of Africa, they don't take them serious either. Why do you think they've been able to slice and dice the continent and pass it around among each other? And even now to this day, they are still able to say, look, we've given the reins back to you. You're the president. It's a black president now. But why is it that they are still puppeteering the African countries? They are still running things. They say, look, I'm going to give you control. On the surface, it's going to appear that you all are back in control, but really we're still controlling things, because all we have to do is sanction you. All we have to do is stop your aid. All we have to do is send in our people to do things, our puppets, and we can just completely crash your economy. So they have things wrapped up and tied in that way. But there are certain levels of things that we can do as a people to where we don't have to stoop so low as to just give it all away, give all of our control away. And we just totally succumb to every other culture but our own. And we're trying to look like and act like our own. We don't own up to the truth. There was a meme where they were showing, I forget the singer's name, but she had on a blonde wig. And one of the brothers was passing it around. He was saying, you all wonder why we just get Becky. Let me see if I can find that particular meme. I want to read it right. But it shows again how our people don't even know how to decipher their own madness. They don't even know how to decipher what's really going on. They just want to make excuses for everything. Okay, just give me a moment here. I'm going to get this thing open so that I can read it for exactly what it says. I'm going to get this thing right here. Okay, so it says, how can you be mad at a black man for dating the same white woman you are trying to imitate? Now, when I look at that statement, that's Mary J. Blige, by the way. If I remember, I'll put it up on the screen. She has blonde hair right now. It looks like her hair, but it's dyed blonde. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that either. But again, it says, how can you be mad at a black man for dating the same white woman you are trying to imitate? Well, let me tell you what's a trip about that statement right there. Black women in their natural state, we were rocking the afros and the braids and all kinds of things like that, right? But our brothers grew weary of that. I remember one singer, if I'm not mistaken, it was either Foxy Brown or Lil' Kim, one of those. They made a statement. They said that their man had left them for a Becky. And so they went out of their way to try to look like the Becky because that's who their man left them for. So when you make a statement like this, black women didn't start off trying to look like no white women, bleaching the skin and dyeing the hair. We didn't start off like that. A lot of black women, like what that one woman said, they started doing that so that they could try to get you to look at them because it seemed like the blonde hair and the light skin was attractive to you to the point where you were leaving your women for it. And so the black woman, her thinking is this, well, maybe if I try to look like her, I can win my man back. But then she gets ridiculed for doing this. Let's be realistic. We are our own worst enemy. We are our own worst enemy. We want to talk about these other enemies, but if we really take a look around, look no further than your own communities. Look no further than your own house, our own people. We are our own worst enemy. There's another video that I want to do. I want to talk about this young man who rented a house. Some of you may have seen it. It's so sad. He rented a house to this young woman with some children. And I got to talk about that because we've had similar experiences. But this man was crying. He was angry. He was infuriated because this young woman tore his place up. She destroyed this property. So you all want to say, why are you so judgmental? Coming to you as a mother figure, I want you to think about that statement. Why would someone be judgmental of the black community in the state that we're in? Why would we do that? Is it not deserved? Don't somebody need to come and say something because we are just getting out of control and we're not waking up? The world is crumbling down around us and we are not getting the memo. Everybody else is preparing. Let me just throw this at you, young people. Okay? There's a meme that circulates quite often. It shows up in my feed. And it shows as follows. As a matter of fact, it's not just a meme, but it's also a video. It's a comparison. It shows that young white people, and white people in general, they are out here training with weapons, AR-15s and all kinds of weapons, and they're shooting with precision. While they're doing that, the video over here shows black women twerking, dancing, doing all of this stuff. Black men all up on their behinds, dancing, rubbing all up against them, everybody clubbing and partying and having a funky good time. While everybody else is preparing for battle. You hear me? So you want to ask me, why am I so judgmental? I'm trying to get your attention. That statement about being judgmental is deflection because you don't want nobody telling you about yourself. You need somebody to tell you about yourself before the crap hits the fan. There's not going to be any government that's going to come in and swoop in and deliver you out of your situation. I'm going to tell you right now, that's coming to an end. And if you don't get yourself together right now, young people, those that are my age, older people who think that life is going to just be a game forever, that you can stay in this perpetual state of youth, if you don't get yourself together, you're going to find yourself on the receiving end of destruction. I love you all. I really do. Ask my husband. He knows that when I talk like this, I'm coming from a position of love for my people, because I used to be a lot different than I am now. I used to think that I could coddle people to safety. I could just talk you and woo you into the right decisions and choices. But my husband, he's been a great teacher to me on how to be and how to speak. I remember when he first wanted me to start doing videos. We did our first video, I think it was Spirit and Truth or something like that. But that was the first one we did together. But I remember way before that, when we were well into Christianity, he wanted me to do a video. And I didn't want to do it. You know, I didn't want to do it. I'm like, baby, I don't really like being on camera, you know. And so I asked him, I said, well, can you pull the camera way back? So what you saw was me all the way on the couch, way over there. And the camera, I would say, was about 20 or more feet away from me, because I just didn't want to be on camera. But through listening to my husband and taking notes from him, he talks loud, y'all. He gets his point across. When he's teaching, sometimes you notice, they say, Watchman getting fired up. But I've been taking some cues from him. I've been learning a lot from him over the years. And I thank y'all that I am a changed woman. I'm no longer this quiet, timid, scared young woman, because I see the world for what it is now. I see the world for what it is. And my eyes have been open for a long time. And I understand that you just can't keep telling young people, it's all right, baby, it's okay, sugar. You can't keep doing that. As long as you keep coddling young people, they're going to keep on making the same mistakes, because they know they're going to have this shoulder to come cry on. Because they know that this person is just going to wipe away the tears and just going to let me lay my head on her shoulder. She going to rub my back until I stop the tears. Now, I understand sometimes that is warranted. And when it is, I don't have a problem doing that either. But I know the right time to do that. And I know the right time to cry aloud and spare not, and lift up my voice like a trumpet in Zion. I know the right time, and the time is now. Playtime is over, family. Playtime is over. And with that, I want to say I love you, but I gotta go. Shalom.